Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Frantic Nerdcast, episode 47.
Closing in on the 5-0.
We are nearly... Is 40 over the hill or is 50 over the hill?
Nowadays, I'd say it's probably 50s over the hill.
Yeah, 40 used to be over the hill, didn't it? Yeah,
I think we're old enough for it to be 50s over the hill now.
I think so, because we're nearly 40. Well, I am. He is. You aren't.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, young prick.
I'm young. At heart, maybe.
Yeah. Sure. Okay, so as we said, welcome to this episode. Now, last week we did say we weren't doing an episode this week, but surprise!
The Australian weather strikes again,
Yes,
and AJ's here.
Yes, I was meant to be out shooting out in the country, and it decided to be thunderstorms all week out in the country. So
It's been a wild week of weather. It was 40 degrees this time last week, and now it's like 20.
Yep, but humid as fuck.
Yeah, it hasn't been pleasant.
Oh, well, the beauty of living in Australia.
All right, so what have we been up to this week, lads?
Oh, guys, like, exciting news. I finished Soups. as you guys seen, and Zach got very disappointed walking in the door. So I finished painted Superman a week early.
2 weeks early. Last
2
week
weeks
I've
early?
got 3 weeks. I plan on taking all 3 weeks.
Oh, I thought okay.
So for those of you who
Wow.
are just joining the podcast from this episode, firstly, welcome. Secondly, we task each other with painting the exact same miniature. We're doing Henry Cavill's Superman from the DC miniature game.
We are indeed.
And me and Zach finished our miniatures last episode.
About 30 minutes because
Yeah.
Soups, there's no real colour
and
really.
Brock was very much like, I'm going to take 3 weeks. And he's finished it. So
And then didn't tell me, so then I rocked up without my Superman to, mockery.
Yeah, I forgot to tell the guys.
So make sure you keep an eye on the socials because we're putting up all 3 of them and we want you guys to vote on which one you think the best is, and we won't tell you whose is whose. And then we're just going to continue to do this with more and more DC miniatures.
Yep, and it's literally just the best on opinion. Which one you like the most for whatever bloody reason you want.
Yes, let's any reason at all. Just any reason.
Any reason.
No teasers as to what yours looks like.
Now, I've got a bone to pick with both of you.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, I do. It's going to come back
Remember,
and bite me in the
right,
ass.
so-
you're still on probation.
So
That's fine.
everybody, before he says anything, I think we might be going back to 2 persons hosting the podcast.
That's fine. I just am in disbelief that the 2 of you have both not finished The Penguin yet. You've watched 1 episode.
I'm up to episode 4 now.
Is that's happened recently then?
Yeah, and
How
yesterday.
you haven't found a way to start it yet, I don't know. It's so fucking cool.
You'll have a child one day, and then your time gets massively consumed in different ways.
Even my wife, who dislikes Batman totally, Lisa fucking loved this show.
It's
To be
because
fair-
it's not even a Batman
No,
show.
it's not a Batman. It's Batman genre, but yeah,
To be fair, I've watched 15 minutes. I loved every 15 minutes.
I'm devastated that it's finished.
Yeah. I've heard I've tried to avoid as much as possible. Like whenever I see Penguin come up, I sort of just skip past so I don't see too much. The thing I seen the other day is that it's just doing amazingly well. Even the final episode was getting stupid high ratings on all the Rotten Tomatoes and or something else. But
Well, you'll tell you
It's
what.
doing really, really well.
This leads into one of the rumors I'll have, but I might as well do it now. Colin Farrell's already come out and said that he's going to be in like 6 scenes in Batman 2, and he's signed on for Batman 3.
Yeah.
That was which is awesome.
And Batman 2,
I think all 3 of us did.
and Batman 2 is, which we've talked about before, will be based on the Court of Owls.
Yes.
And I believe as well, other rumours linking to that is that Sophia will be in the movie as well. So
That's kind of interesting because
I said the way the TV show ended, without saying how it ended, did open it up to it linking there because it did have a direct link to a character from the Batman movie. So.
because I'm very interested to see what they do with her, because in the comics she's killed. And I like that they call her the Hangman, which is what her alter ego in the comics, which is pretty cool. But yeah, in the comics she's killed, because she's barely in the comics really.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
we'll
anyway,
see.
she did a fantastic
She's
job.
amazing. She's an amazing actor.
What I'll do for you, Zach, is by the time we sit down next week, I will have watched another 15 minutes. I'll guarantee you that.
I'll be watching Brave for you by this time next week, so I can bring my my verdict on that back to you, and I'll listen to your second 15 minutes of The Penguin.
So what we're saying is each episode, until we're going to talk about we're going to talk about 15 minutes of an episode, and then the next 15 minutes, and until we finish that episode, and then we'll continue doing that for the 8 episodes of Penguin, which should last us till mid next year.
Excellent.
Till season 2 eventually comes out.
Another thing I had, and you're probably aware of this too, Linkin Park dropped a new song today.
No,
I didn't see
yeah.
that.
They dropped a brand new song. It was unannounced. It just appeared.
Well, the album comes out
tomorrow.
No,
Or
the 19th.
The 19th, which is
Yeah, it's
it's
5
this
days away.
weekend. Oh no, next weekend.
Yeah, 5 days away.
Never mind. I thought it was the 15th.
Wait, the 19th of November?
Yeah.
Well, that's Tuesday.
Yeah, 5 days
Are you
away.
sure? I thought it was the 15th. I thought it was tomorrow.
It might be tomorrow. I don't know. I thought it was the 19th.
Anyway, it's coming out soon, guys. But yeah, the new song was called Two Faced. It was a great song. It gave me vibes of One Step Closer. So it had a very similar sort of music and sort of
Sweet.
just memories and feel of One Step Closer, which was quite good. And yeah, this was good as well. I've enjoyed all their songs and looking forward to the album dropping. And also rumours of a world tour coming out any day now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of figured
So-
that.
Yeah, as much as I love Linkin Park, I'm not going.
Really?
I hate stadium tour. I hate stadiums. They just, it's not enjoyable to watch a concert in a stadium,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's
because you're
fair.
you're so far away from the fucking stage.
I don't
It's
necessarily say that. They haven't.
It's just not
The
fun.
last few times I've been here, they haven't done stadium tours. They've just done like a core
Arenas
and things.
and
Yeah,
all that.
arenas. They
No,
haven't.
that's what I mean. Arenas, stadium, same shit. Arenas are fucking horrible too. Like if I'm going to go, I want to go to a smaller venue, like a Horden Pavilion kind of venue, like
Yeah,
which is
fair enough,
like
yeah.
an entertainment center kind of
Yeah.
size. 'Cause
Yeah,
that-
well, so that's
you can still actually see the band. Linkin Park are bigger than that. Linkin Park are like
yeah. But
Acer Arena.
last time they were here, yeah, I said Acer. I think they were in,
Yeah.
which wasn't too bad.
No,
gonna
it's
say,
fucking horrible. I
what?
haven't seen Foo Fighters there. I've seen Fall Out Boy there. It's too big to enjoy watching the band, and then you got too many fuckwits around you
Yeah, it's
that you just want to punch his face. And then getting a fucking beer is
I don't
that's-
bother.
a
That's
5-song
everywhere.
effort.
That's everywhere in Australia. Stadiums in general, that's everywhere.
It'll cost
I
you $30 one beer.
And Fall Out Boy, we haven't seen Fall Out Boy at Acer, and they cut the bar off 2 songs into Fall Out Boy's set.
Wow.
I wonder if that was a band decision to keep everyone actually watching the band and not lining up for 45 minutes for their $40
It's just
beer.
fucking bullshit is what it is.
That's true too.
If I'm going to see a band, I want to be drunk and enjoy myself whilst I'm watching said band.
To each their own, AJ.
That's
to
right.
Each their own.
Okay, well, let us get into what we're normally going to talk about, and
TV shows.
TV shows. We're going to have a lot of TV talk in this episode. Now, obviously, we're not talking about anything about really movie related, so if you've got any movie rumors, we can chuck them in now, or any other rumors. Let's just fucking talk about rumors, shall we? My first rumor is, according to reports, the Tumblr Batmobile from Nolan's Batman movies is up for sale. $3 million per a tumbler. There's 10 of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not that it's up for sale. They're releasing 10, which are all able to be driven, get around and whatnot. It's just that they're not road legal.
Of course, they're not fucking. It's a tank.
I want it to be road legal.
They're literally army vehicles.
Yeah,
I mean, good luck to whoever wants to pull you over in it, though.
Exactly. True.
So I've got something that's not so much a rumor, just say in case you missed it. There's been it's been doing the reports on the news here in Australia, but in America there's been a snafu by Mattel. So Wicked, for those who don't know, Wicked the movie is coming out, and in America they've released the Barbie version of Wicked, and on the back they put a website to go and visit.
www.wicked.com.
It was the wrong Wicked.
For
tell
those
you-
of you
I'll
who
tell you
are
what.
the younger persuasion, Wicked are an extremely famous porn industry website people, such as Brazzers, etc., and yeah, they went to their website instead of the Wicked Movies website.
I reckon there is one chap within Mattel who is pissing himself laughing.
100%.
He's seen it. He's gone, that's an error, and I'm going to print it.
But as someone that works in advertising, okay, about 6 people should have checked that website. So
And
when you're
all-
a designer, you're
hey.
designing and you'll go, okay, I'll make sure that website's correct, type it in, yep, that's the correct website, blah, blah. And then whoever's checking that person's work should have typed that website. So many people should have checked that.
So I'm going to go with the guy who put it there, pissing himself laughing. The other 5 going, oh shit, we should have checked that.
Or the last guy that goes, I'm just going to change this.
I can tell you right now, some motherfuckers at Mattel are getting fired.
Either way, that is, I can imagine now that will be one of the most collectible Barbies out there, because having an error on it usually
Did they
makes
get
the
recalled?
collectibles. 100% it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had to have. But it said it only managed, I think, got to the American shores. It didn't come to Australia yet. So
Fuck, that's funny. Apparently, Tom Cruise wants Glenn Powell to replace him and lead the Mission Impossible franchise into the future.
Glenn Powell. Who's Glenn Powell?
Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Sydney Sweeney, Australian show.
No. I want old love. Carter.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, I want her to be the new Mission Impossible person.
Yeah, that'd be
I
awesome.
think she'd be fucking fantastic, and all that. And they've already set her up to be that person at the end of the last movie.
Yeah, okay. I haven't actually watched it.
It's really good. It's really
What
good.
was
And
the
the
last one
trailer, Dead Reckoning.
No, I think I've seen
It
the one
was
before
Dead.
that.
It was Dead Reckoning Part 1, but then they've decided just to call it Dead Reckoning, and
Yeah,
the next one's called
The Last Reckoning or
The
something?
Last
Final
Reckoning, yeah.
Reckoning. Final Reckoning.
But the trailer looks fucking good.
Yeah, the trailer
man.
looks good. I thought I'd seen the last one, but no, I must have missed it. I've seen the one before that then.
Yeah, it's it looks good. Live action How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes, this looks interesting.
Yeah, it's been announced, and I don't know how I feel about it because it's going to. Again, Lion King was live action, but it was just a CGI movie.
Yeah, but at least this one's got humans in
yeah,
it.
but it's going to be a lot of CGI.
So I think this is something that's been kicking around for quite a long time, actually, because they've been talking. There was a kick around with Gerard Butler returning to do the father and whatnot, and getting sort of those people to actually do the live action versions of themselves.
But Gerard Butler still could.
Oh, 100%.
Speaking of Gerard, have you watched Plane on Netflix yet?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Fucking great movie.
I watched it when it came out ages ago on, I want to say Prime.
Ah, okay,
But it's,
yeah.
or maybe Binge.
It was a
But
good
yeah,
movie.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Bit different, but yeah, good.
All right, so I've got two Sonic ones. So the first one is the final runtime is reportedly 1 hour 45 minutes, which makes it the second longest in the trilogy. And then it goes bigger than the last two entries with in the trilogy with Shadow origin story and two Jim Carrey characters.
Yeah,
the
he's playing-
director and the main character Ben Schwartz has been talking it up quite massively. So.
Yeah, Jim Carrey's playing his dad as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington reveals that he will star in Black Panther 3. Ryan Coogler is currently writing a role for him in the film.
Oh, excellent.
And there's follow-on to that. Apparently, he reckons he's doing that, and then maybe 2 or 3 more cherry-picked roles, and then he's retiring.
Okay.
There you go. He's had a career.
So there is a movie that is set to begin filming in 2025 in Italy. It's called Bunny Man, the movie. It's a superhero who dresses in a latex bunny outfit. It stars Michelle Marone, Franco Nero, Anna Jolja, Mike Tyson, Bella Thorne, and James Franco. And I've seen a picture from it of the costume, and it's like a full superhero pose dude in this black leather thing with bunnies. I don't know if it's a comedy or not, but it looks
fucking weird.
But Mike Tyson,
Okay,
Bella Thorne,
so with
James
those-
Franco, I'm down for
With
that.
those people, I instantly go to black comedy.
Oh yeah, it'll be. I reckon it's like a comedy, like a Tick style
Yeah.
sort of one.
Fucking hell.
All right, so on to my current passion of the week, which is Arcane. So Arcane Season 2 smashes Netflix charts, becoming the most popular show in over 60 countries.
Naturally.
And then the director is saying that they want to keep doing it, but they don't want it to become the new MCU. If it's, they want everything to be meaningful and standalone sort of thing. So I doubt there will be many crossovers sort of thing between Arcane and whatever they do next.
So they want to make it so that you can watch them on their own,
Yeah,
rather
they'll
than
be
having
individuals,
to
so-
have the history
And
behind
so
it.
there
just to-
are enough characters that you could easily do that, as we've said before, and enough different sort of countries or realms.
Well, they've
or
already said that this is the end of this one, and the next one will be a whole completely different story.
Yeah. And they do have the liability to do like a few character little cameos here and there, but usually everyone sort of has their own storylines where they're interconnected. It's very, it's not really rare that sort of Jinx or Vi pops up in someone else's storyline sort of thing. So
It's it'll be interesting to see how the next one goes, considering
big this
Jinx
one was.
is one of their biggest characters for non-League of Legends players.
Sure.
Like Jinx is just so well known,
yeah, that
whereas
also-
other characters just aren't, kind of thing.
Jinx has that for a few reasons. One is there is that resemblance to Harley Quinn, so it does sort of have that.
Oh,
sort
she's a
of,
fucking fuck you, League of Legends creators. She's a copy.
but no, there are others that the character and story and lore, everything behind them, people will instantly get that connection. They just don't know about them yet. Sort
Yeah,
of. So,
yeah, it's 100%. It's just one of those things that I think it's going to be a bit harder for them to get the interest of people.
See, but also think
But then also you've had this successful series
I was
that
just
they
about to
will
say that,
instantly
yeah.
jump into a new season.
they've chosen pretty cleverly and smartly this saga to tell because it is one of the. it's pretty easy to tell straightforward. It's just, a bit of a gang war in a city and sister drama and that sort of thing. But then they are some of the more well-known characters, and moving out from here will be quite easy. And as I said, you got the interest in the league lore from the non-gamers, that I think anything they create will be fantastic.
Cool. Netflix invests $1 billion in Robert Downey Jr. and Mel Gibson's new Unwoke production studio, a game changer for Hollywood.
Cool. All right. Sebastian Stan is interested in developing 2 MCU prequels. The first one, an Avengers prequel that dives into Bucky and Cap's relationship, and a Winter Soldier prequel where he trains the widows.
Ooh. Of those two, the Widow one,
I'd watch the shit out of that.
Sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, the first one, I saw the same rumor. The first one didn't really capture my attention. The
Yeah,
second
I
one,
really
like,
don't care about that. But yeah, the Widows one would be very interesting, in my opinion.
Continuing on Marvel, so at the D23 Brazil panel, Kevin Feige confirmed that Miles won't appear in live action until after Spider-Man Beyond 3.
Wars.
Yeah.
Yep. He also reaffirmed, that's Kevin Feige, when we were preparing for Avengers Endgame years ago, it was about reaching the big finale of our narrative, and after that we had to restart everything, this time on the road to Secret Wars. We already know very well what the story will be leading to that point and beyond. The X-Men are an important part of that future.
Of course they are, because they're some of the most important characters.
Exactly.
Matthew McConaughey is reportedly playing Norman Osborn in the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see that at all, actually.
I don't see it, but I'm also kind of like, I'm happy that Oscorp sort of, and Norman Osborn is removed from this in a way. Like,
yeah, I mean, in the comics, he is the one who controls the Thunderbolts.
I know that.
And I mean, he's a major fucking villain in
100%.
Spider-Man. Even besides the Green Goblin thing, he's a major villain just in his own right.
Yeah, 100%.
I can see Matthew McConaughey doing it, and because he's a good actor, especially when he's actually acting and not just being himself.
Yeah.
Like he's all right. Like when you watch that fucking, what was that crime one that he did?
True Detective.
Oh,
apparently season 1 is the only thing to watch. Apparently the rest of the seasons are pretty shit.
Yeah. And if you like Alexa Daddario, whatever her name is, the one with the big eyes, you'll love that first season. You know why. So do you naughty people.
This actually caught my attention. So Nicholas Hoult recalls the emotional blow he felt after losing the Batman role to Robert Pattinson even before his audition. He just said he wanted a chance to put his hat in the ring. But I think that actually would have been quite interesting to see Nicholas Hoult as Batman, especially in the way R-Pats did it. I think Nicholas Hoult also could have done a decent job in playing that.
Have you seen the one where he has private photos of him in the Batman and Superman costumes?
No, I have not.
In James Gunn's Superman costume, and I'm not sure if it's that Batman. It must be that Batman costume, but he's got, like, they haven't been leaked or anything. He's just got photos of him in the proper costumes.
Because he was obviously on set, because he's Lex Luthor, so he just snuck in, got some dressed up, and took some photos.
All right, what do you got, mate?
We're talking about gaming later. I'll leave that for later.
Yeah, but keep trying to say the same rumor.
I got one. Macaulay Culkin joins Fallout Season 2.
That was my next one.
Yeah, well, you should have fucking hurried up, mate.
Holy shit, he's still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive.
Excellent.
I got 2 more while you're trying to find yours.
Well, I've got one. So Paul King says Wonka 2 is in the works. We've got about half of a draft done.
Yeah, the first one wasn't great.
Oh, yeah. I am thinking this is the movie they're going to do now, which is the one I thought they were doing with Wonka 1. So I'm kind of interested to go see it.
I'm not. Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz have split up and called off their engagement.
Yeah, that's old news. I think we talked about it last week.
She couldn't handle him talking like Gambit 24/7.
I saw that. I'm about nicking for myself. Lady Gaga has joined Wednesday Season 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
And that's apparently coming out 23rd of November. Mm-hmm. So soon.
And then my last one is the rumor mill is on fire today. Take this with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I've got that one too.
Fantastic Four First Steps ends with the team meeting the TVA and learning the multiverse is dying. The TVA want the F4 to help build a space raft / ark to round up the anchor beings and prepare for the end of the multiverse.
Okay. cool thread. And
Are you going to finish that one or just stop there?
That's all.
and
Dr.
within
Doom's reportedly in it, which we already knew.
Yeah, okay.
and within that as well, we got Fantastic Four. So Malkovich be playing Ivan Kragoff, or Red Ghost, a supervillain genius who first appeared alongside Super Apes in 1963's Fantastic Four.
Now, I've got one last one.
One
I don't know.
last one?
I don't know if this one has been
Oh,
is
yeah.
new
I
or
saw
old
this.
news, but
I think this is old news.
the Earth Kingdom Avatar cast have been released for season 2.
Oh, the full cast for them.
Yeah,
Okay,
you can
nice.
read the names because I don't want to butcher them.
And I'm good at butchering them, so
that's
let's go.
the point.
Chin Han as Long Feng, Justin Chien as King Kui, Amanda Zhu as Judy, Crystal Yu as Lady Bei Fong, Kalamet Misapika as the Boulder. Fuck. Hua Zande as Professor Z, Lourdes Fabres as General Sung, and Rekha Sharma as Amita.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, keen for season 2.
I can't remember if we said something about this one because I definitely tuned out for a little bit back there. But Barry Keegan's Joker series to be the next Batman HBO show.
Cool.
Apparently, he's also rumoured to be back in the Batman Part 2 as a bigger role. This will be the first TV series centred around the Joker.
Barry, he was one that was in the
Inhumans. Not the Inhumans. What was it? The Eternals. He's the Irish guy. He was in that
Yeah,
Saltburn
but
movie.
he was in the like a cutscene from the Batman, wasn't he?
Yeah, but it was
Yeah,
on
yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah,
It was a cut.
yeah.
They deleted it.
Yeah.
No, he was in...
No, or in the actual cut of the movie, you just see him laugh at the end of the movie.
Yeah, you don't actually see his face.
Oh,
or
no,
anything
you
like
don't
that.
see his face.
Yeah,
I thought...
in the movie, there was a scene that they filmed of Batman actually talking to him, but they
okay.
cut it from the movie. It's on YouTube.
No, I knew that, but I think you might just see like a close up of his eyes or something.
It's
so you can
right
sort
at
of
the
see
end
like
when
a,
Riddler gets put in the jail
Yeah.
cell. The camera pulls back and you see the.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on away from the rumors and on to what we're talking about at this moment of the podcast right now, and that is
While AJ finds his notes.
cartoons from our childhood.
Yeah, okay. I thought we were doing Vox Machina, but okay,
Oh,
I'll move on.
no, we're doing cartoons from our childhood.
I've cheated massively here, but basically I've just got a list that way if you guys say something, I can say something else as well.
So the stipulation, we said 3 to 5, and I think I have about 15. I think Bronx has, no, that's my kid's name. Brock has the same amount.
Well, I got credit because at
get
one
that
point
bit.
we were discussing if it was just shows from our youth. So I've even put down like the Australian 90s game shows for kids, like Amazing and Go Stop and Pick Your Face. And
I went straight. I focused on cartoons.
Yeah, most of mine are them.
No, I only did cartoons, or even like the 3D like perspective where they were getting that early CGI.
well, the
3D
only
shit.
other
Got
sort of
another one.
So before we get into it, because I do you have an actual 3 to 5 to talk about?
Yeah, I've got
You've got
that.
an actual 3 to 5.
I was just going to randomly pick.
Okay, cool. And I have a 3 to 5 as well.
Okay, so
let's rattle off the list.
One of the stipulations first that we had was no anime.
Yeah,
Because
correct.
anime is kind of its own thing. We've talked about anime before. We might do one of just animes, but this is more in the veins of like your Cartoon Networks, your Nickelodeons.
Okay, so I
stuff we
won't
watch
talk
in the
about Cheese TV
afternoons.
then. Okay, got it. Because that's where I was I just had Cheese TV down and all shows that was on it. It's trying to cheat, but cheat.
But I mean,
small.
Cheese TV had other shows like
It did.
Eek the Cat,
It did, but so you look at some of those.
maybe something else that wasn't anime.
Not that we watched anyways. All right, well, Zach, you put this one forward. So how about you rattle off your list first?
We going one each, or
No,
just
I
the list?
mean, let's rattle off the list, and then we'll go into our actual ones because you've got just a list written down of several, don't you?
yeah,
Similar
my
to-
list actually probably is smaller than both yours. Now seeing it, I
Okay.
was more restrained than I thought. All right, so my whole list in no particular order.
Yep.
I've got Recess, Arthur, Angry Beavers, Cat Dog, Rugrats, SpongeBob, Rocket Power, Rocko's Modern Life, Fairly Odd Parents, Hey Arnold. I think I've already said that. Arthur and Recess.
You said Recess.
I
Sorry.
think I've said things twice, but
I
that's
was
fine.
gonna- okay.
How many
That-
crossovers do you have?
6.
1.
Yeah, look, there was a lot more I could have gone with, but I said I was like, oh no, I've got to limit it to like what was actually my favorite. And they said mine were more Nickelodeon because I didn't really get access to a lot of the Cartoon Network shows back in the day. So,
all right, Brock,
right,
rattle off your your list. I just had a stroke.
I can tell. Pinky and the Brain, Angry Beavers, Cat Dog, Gargoyles, Daria, South Park, Doug, Ren and Stimpy, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Rugrats, Rocco's Modern Life, Cow and Chicken, Dexter's Lab, Hey Arnold, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls, Reboot, Kim Possible, Fairly Odd Parents, My Life as a Teenage Robot, Cornel and Bernie, Angela Anaconda, Totally Spies, Tootenstein, Girl Stuff, Boy Stuff, Bike Mice from Mars.
so many shows on there. I'm like, oh, how did I forget that?
Yeah, there's a couple that I forgot as well. All right, so I've got Beavis and Butthead, Visionaries, G.I. Joe, Daria, Rocco's Modern Life, Are Real Monsters, Animaniacs, Batman the Animated Series, Gargoyles, X-Men, Mask, like as in Joker, Jim
Carrey's Mask,
Transformers, GoBots, Rugrats, The Max, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Fantastic Four, Tintin, and Reboot.
And what I'll also say,
might I add Biker Mice from Mars.
And what I'll also say is my 5 that I'm going to talk about actually left off of that list. So I've got 5 more.
No, I didn't. That's why I repeated something. Because like mine are in order, I might say it out of order, so you don't know what I'm picking. So I stayed away from like comic stuff like that, like with Spider-Man, Batman, all that sort of thing. When I was putting mine, I was sort of just staying with the Nickelodeon Cartoon Network, but mainly Nickelodeon.
So I did something similar because like the little blurb I had at the start was more or less that I chose 5 because I wrote a big old list and then I chose 5 from it. The 5 that I chose were ones that just sort of stood out to me as ones that I would eagerly get home to or want to be searching through channels to watch. And they were in no particular order. And I would have loved to have included some of those other ones, but I thought, you know what, we've spoken about those types of things otherwise, and they will come up again, i.e.
I also
Spider-Man,
tried to limit
etc.
shows to ones I watched when I was like younger or early teens. There are some of the more like sort of live action Nickelodeon shows that I was watching later on that I left off because I was sort of more focusing on my earlier childhood.
Sure. See, there was a lot of those like Angela Anaconda and Hey Arnold and that. Like I watched them, but I didn't love them, so I didn't put them on my list. So there's a lot of shows that I used to watch, but I didn't love. And I probably would never watch again, like your Hey Arnolds, Cat Dogs, stuff like that. Like I liked watching them, but I didn't love them, so I just didn't put them on my list.
That's fair.
Yep.
All right, what's your first one, Zach?
I'm going to go with probably the biggest of all the Nickelodeon shows, I'd say, which would be SpongeBob. It was, as I said, it came out at peak time when I was, 10, 11, and it was fantastic. Watched it every morning on Cheese TV, Toaster TV, whatever it was, and moved on, and still watch it now. Put it on in the classroom on a rainy day for the kids to be entertained, and still a big hit. And from the characters to the goofy plots and stuff like that.
See, I missed out on SpongeBob. That was after my time.
Yeah,
of kid watching.
It was I think it was around when I was younger, but it came into play more so when my kid brother was growing up. So I watched it a little bit more when I was probably like mid to late teens, that sort of stuff, but I never really took to it.
Yeah,
watchable, but it was kind of like...
I like it. It's entertaining as hell because he's just a stupid character. But it just wasn't on my wheelhouse kind of thing. It's like Ben 10. Like I love Ben 10, but it wasn't my childhood.
And I left Ben 10 off the list as well because, I mean, that I, again, started watching early-ish teens, like 14,
I actually didn't watch that until I was like 20.
Yeah, see, I didn't really become aware of it and watching it until, I was late teens.
There you go. But yeah.
All right, Brock, what do you got, mate?
First one for me, no particular order, Rocket Power. So
that would have been on my
list.
Was on
your list, 4 seasons, came from 99 to 2004, centering on the daily lives. Otto, Reggie, Twister, and Sam for pre-adolescent children with an interest in extreme sports. It was fucking awesome.
So
I loved it.
This show was the catalyst for this topic. So we had a rainy day the other day at school, and I was like, "Let's put this on." I had all the sporty boys in the classroom. I was like, "Hang on, boys, I've got a show. It's just for you. It's extreme sports, skating, hockey. Like it's all about this sort of stuff." Put on the first episode, and they're like, halfway through, "This is boring."
Because it's not YouTube people playing robots.
It was the first episode, so it was the one episode that gave you the plot of the show when Sam or Squid moves into town and you get to meet him and all that sort of thing. So yes, it wasn't the most action-packed episode, but I was like, there's hockey, there's surfing, The intro to Rocket Power was cool. It was very different and stuff like that. Like, I just thought it would have grabbed their attention, and it just did not.
Well, from watching this is what pushed me into doing some more of those things. Like through my youth, I was heavily into mountain bike riding, push bike racing, and
as was me,
as was yourself, and then also not so much skating, but a bit of skating and whatnot. And I did that almost every day and every weekend. Like this sort of pushed me into that thing. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. Let's go do it.
And that's it. And it got me into wanting to play a bit of street hockey. Unfortunately, I just lived in a street where there was no one else that wanted to, and soccer and cricket sort of took over anyway. But yeah, it was one of the few sporty cartoon shows back in the day that was really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, it was funny you say, like, just within however long. I was working from home the other week and I could just hear the theme song going in the background. I'm like, get fucked. So I walk out, here's Shan, she's just put it on the screen. I'm like, fuck yeah, I might just have a little break here. So I took lunch early that day.
All right, well, my first one was one that you mentioned, Brock, Gargoyles.
Yep.
I forgot about this.
Oh, I loved Gargoyles.
Awesome show.
Man.
It was so good.
It was dark as fuck. It was adulty. It was just didn't treat you like a fucking idiot. It had a really good story arc along the first 2 seasons. Third season got a bit out of hand. It got cancelled because viewership and all blah, 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 because they kept moving things around, airing episodes out of order, which at that time they used to do with all cartoons, because cartoons didn't have continuous story arcs at that time, whereas this did, and it just made no sense, and so people stopped watching it and it got cancelled.
See, I actually didn't realise that until I was doing the Batman Lego that I was doing earlier in the year, and when I started reading about all the episodes and had like the air dates and all those types of things, they're all fucking pissed. So like you go episode 1 released on the 1st of January, and then episode 2 released on the 24th of December the year before. You're like, fucking why?
Yep. So it was. It originally aired in. Where
it was like 94 or something, wasn't
it? 94, October 24th, 1994, through to the February 15th, 1997. Had some fantastic voice actors in it. Had love stories between the gargoyles, all that kind of stuff. It was such a good show.
I haven't been back to that show in a very long time, and I am going to.
I borrowed them off the internet.
As long as you return them.
I'll return them, don't worry. And it is a sensational show. Okay. It still holds up, and it's getting new episodes, I believe.
See, that's something I could do as a live action or something like that.
I wasn't sure if it was getting new episodes or if it was actually getting a live action.
I believe both, I've heard. Yeah.
Because there's been a bunch of stuff, because it's like the 30th anniversary, so they actually did a release via Kickstarter of a whole bunch of the comic volumes as well, in a real sweet like hard book case and slipcase.
Oh, is it
and
based
whatnot.
on a comic?
There are. I'm actually not sure.
No, it was
which
a
one
cartoon
comes
first, and then the comic second.
Yep. There you go. But yeah, they did like a graphic novel release earlier this year, and that was very, very pretty.
It was created on the success of Batman.
Yeah, it had a very Batman vibe to it.
Because Batman came out and it was like adulty and dark, and every other people went, we need to make the Batman.
100%.
All right, my next one is another one that is currently apparently in the rumor to get a live action is Rugrats. Fantastic. Was it you that was talking about how it was apparently linked to the Doctor Who?
So the creator is a massive fan of Doctor Who, and this is rumoured that he semi-modelled Tommy off the Doctor.
Yeah.
That's why he always uses a screwdriver to get out of the cage and stuff. And there are shots of Dalek toys.
Yeah, the toys, in
the rooms and stuff.
But yeah, Tommy loved it, loved the twins, loved everything about Rugrats.
The twins were my favourite, man.
Always,
the twins were my favourite.
Always a fun.
When they became the superheroes and they had the spit gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always a good time to watch it. And everyone, even I said my dad.
Did you ever watch All Growing Up?
I remember trying that.
I've tried it.
It wasn't as good.
I think I was also at that point where I was kind of going through that too cool for kids shows type thing.
It just didn't have that same whimsy that the original Rugrats had. Kind of thing. It was trying to make it cool.
I mean, and they still had the whole thing of
because I think that's when Recess came out, and they were trying to make it like Recess.
Sure.
I'm upset. I'm struggling with this. Is it Dill, Tommy's brother?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because in All Grown Up, he still didn't talk in it and something like they always had the pun or the gag of why he wasn't talking at that time, things like that. So, but it was okay. But yeah, as Brock said, I think it just came out at the wrong time for a lot of us.
From memory, the twins are voiced by the same person.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
It's someone. It's one of. It's like, was it Nancy? Might be Nancy Cartwright.
Yeah, she did heaps of voices.
It might be Nancy Cartwright or the chick that does what's her name? Tori something. She does like Powerpuff Girls and all that kind of stuff.
So Lillian Kath Susie.
No, it's not who I was thinking of. Oh well.
And moving on, Brock.
What do you got, mate? What's your number 2?
My next one is Invader Zim. So this was
never a massive fan of Zim.
Yeah, I never really watched it.
I watched it at a good time where it just had the weirdest shit and fuck, I laughed at it.
It's a good show, but I never really got into it.
Nah, like it was, I don't know what it was, but I remember just pretty much every single episode putting it on and just going fucking pissing myself laughing at the most random shit. I watched it at the right time and got a lot out of it. I reckon if I was to go back now, I'd be like, whoops. But at the time, I fucking loved it.
I'd say that's a show where a lot of my friendship group was watching it and like raving about it, but it was just something that I never got onto.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, it was 27 episodes. It was actually 46 segments, so a lot of the shows were split into 2, airing from 2001 to 2002. And yeah, it was fucking awesome. You had the alien, which was Invader Zim. You had the kid. I forgot his name. I wrote it down here somewhere. But more or less, Dib. So Zim is a terrible alien trying to take over the planet, and he can't.
Yeah.
And Dib is a terrible investigator who cannot point out that he's an alien.
And you had the
it
robot
just works perfectly.
as well.
Yeah, the robot was perfect. Like just he'd just say one line every now and again, and it was just that perfect idiocy of that one word at the perfect timing. And I remember every time the robot opened his mouth, pissing myself laughing as well. So yeah, I fucking loved it. It was a great show.
All right, my number 2 is a show not many people would probably know about. It's based on a comic book. It's called The Max. This was part of MTV's cartoon sort of era kind of thing, and it was around the Beavis and Butthead era, which we'll be talking about in a moment. But it's based on a comic book of the same name called The Max, and essentially it's a dude who's mentally ill and believes that he is a superhero, and he kind of lives in 2 worlds. One which is like a downtrodden New York where he's in love with his not therapist, what are they called? Parole officer-y kind of chick, right? And there's this dude, this bad villain guy who's trying to essentially rape her. He's going around raping women and stuff like that. And the Max is trying to stop her. But then...
shows from your childhood.
And then in the alternate world... Yes, from my childhood, man. This is 94. This came out in.
Shit was a wild time back then.
And then in the alternate world, it's called the Outback. And it's in Australia's Outback, where he's like the protector of the Queen, which is the same chick, but just in an alternate reality kind of thing. And he jumps between these 2 realities. Unfortunately, only ever got 11 episodes. It used to air with Eon Flux, which they made a movie of with Charlize Theron. It is sensational, and I highly, highly recommend. I believe there's episodes on YouTube and stuff like that. Get on there, watch it. It is and like the animation style is like cut out mixed with live. Like there's some live parts in there of like when he gets arrested in the cop car. The cops are actually real life footage, but silhouetted out. And then it's mixed with the cartoon in the background of him like sinking down into the seat and shit. And it's all like noir themed voiceovers over the tops and stuff. And yeah, it's amazing. Highly, highly recommend it to people.
All right, well, I'm about to go.
And yes, there was rape and stuff, like talk about it, and it was
a different time.
It wasn't really a kids show, but I did watch it.
I was say, but it was also a very different time back then.
Yes, it was true.
So I'm going to go rogue on this one, and I've remembered one that wasn't on my list.
My favorite comic book character, my first ever crush.
Oh yeah, okay. No, I'm not talking about the rogue. I was like, what? If you're crushing on this show, you've got problems.
I'm so happy at how confused you were just then.
That's why I deliberately said, because I knew he wouldn't know what I was talking about.
I'm like, yep, cool.
I knew he wouldn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah, took me a second. I got there. Rogue as in X-Men. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
Yeah, I got there.
I'm making sure I got
the cartoon Rogue.
I got there. So this is a show that may not necessarily have been the best or the most popular, but it's one for me that was one of my favorites. And it's the Mighty Ducks animated series.
I have this. If you want to borrow it, I have this.
Good, because I've tried to find it, and it's always grainy and shitty episodes. It's only like, there's not very many episodes, maybe 12 or something. It's basically set.
There was a cartoon movie as well, I think.
Yeah.
Which was,
Yeah, so I think that was like the first 3 episodes of the cartoon or something like that from memory.
I completely forgot about this thing. I remember that being
And they had like
fucking
they had puck shooters
Yeah,
and like
so-
superhero
Yeah.
costumes and shit.
Yeah, so the plot is effectively
Then they end up
from
with like a big metal mask for the duck. And
from
from-
aliens, we're
yeah.
all
They're from
on their-
Duck World.
Yeah, Duck World, and all conflict on their planet is solved through hockey.
yeah.
And then so other aliens come in, start to attack, and then there's a mythical character in their past that is transformed through the hockey mask, and one of them puts it on, and they become hockey themed superheroes, and flying through space, solving crime, and trying to save their planet. And yeah, it was amazing. Obviously, I got into it because I love the Mighty Ducks movies.
It's the reason I play ice hockey, man.
And I said, watching that show, it was fantastic. And the fact that it was so short always upset me.
I forgot about this show completely. You are unlocking fucking memories. That is so good.
The fact that I forgot to put on my list upsets me greatly, but I had to throw it in there. So it's knocking something else off. I don't know what yet. I'll figure it out later. But it's in my top 5.
Worth it.
Yeah.
All right, Brock, what's your number 3, mate?
Oh, I don't know if I can follow that. Captain Planet and the Planeteers.
Yeah, I forgot to put that on my list. That was actually up there on my list.
This was, I reckon, one of those. Yeah, it was one of those TV shows.
Where it had a preachy meaning, but fuck, it was worth it.
Yeah.
See, but as a kid, you didn't.
Yeah, you didn't get that side of it.
The
Yeah.
preachy thing.
Exactly, and it was just a TV
Do you want to know
show.
a fun fact about that show? Whoopi Goldberg was the voice of Maya.
So voices,
Yeah.
you've got Whoopi Goldberg
Yep, and
and LeVar Burton.
yeah, and also what's his name? The Fly, Independence Day, Thor Ragnarok, Chaos, the Zeus and Chaos.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, he played the rat guy.
Really?
Yep.
Because he wasn't when I was going through. I didn't see him
Yeah,
listed.
he was the voice of the rat man.
Oh, there you go.
Baddie.
Because I went through and had I think this is the one where they had a bunch of people sort of who did what are they called?
Ninja
cameos.
stars? Wow.
Cameos. Like they came through and did a lot of
Yeah.
cameos because they were all around the world and whatnot. But oh no, that was Wild Thornberries. I read some shit about. Oh, one of my other ones, Wild Thornberries. Whoops. Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible show. Like, it was superheroes banding together. It was the rings, unlocked a fucking little Planeteer guy.
And you had fucking heart.
and-
what
oh.
a piece of shit ring. That poor little motherfucker.
He was
the
just along for the
crappiest looking
ride.
of him. He was tiny. He was weak. And
So I won a competition, or apparently my parents probably entered me in a competition. I won a video of Captain Planet. Boy, did I watch the fuck out of those 2 episodes on that VHS.
That's the thing. Like, back then, you would watch something like that, and you would watch it 4,000 times within one day, and just not think anything of it.
I loved the Captain Pollution arc.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. When all the pig baddie, the hot chick with the fucked up face, the rat man.
They linked all that into a movie from memory.
Yeah, who-
they did like a movie arc.
There was
type
another
thing.
2 baddies.
I can't remember.
There was like
Yeah.
a sludge dude, and I can't remember.
There was a poacher.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, and they
Yeah.
formed Captain Pollution.
Did you ever watch the when Rick and Morty did the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched that, go check that out as well because that is
I'm
wild.
a planeteer. You could be one too. Because saving our planet is the thing to do.
It was, what a theme song.
Oh, see, that was
It
that
slapped.
we'll talk. I'll talk about this when we're in the next subject after this one. But my number 3 is The Adventures of Tintin.
See, I watched it. You know how you said before, like talk about shows that you loved and shows that you just watched and liked. This is one of those ones where I watched it, I kind of liked it, but I never got into it.
I think it was probably, you had the same thing I did. It was probably not aimed at our generation at
No,
the
it
time we were
wasn't.
watching it.
Yeah.
It's something that if I was to go back and watch it now, I'd probably get more enjoyment out of it than I did when I was a kid.
They're
just
still fantastic.
because of, it wasn't.
Peter Jackson's movie was shit, in
Yeah.
my opinion. The
I was
cartoons.
about to ask a question
The
about that. I hadn't
cartoons
seen.
are great.
But yeah, like, because the animation style was a bit more subdued than what
Well, it
the
looks
other
like the comics.
cartoons and things we would have been playing
It
and
looks
watching
like
at
the
the time.
comics. And I loved the comics when I was young. I used to get them from the school library all the time. I love them. I love all the stories they told. They were fucking amazing. Tintin was a cool character. It's aired between 91 and 92. Had
that all?
39 episodes. 13
It's
three
it's
seasons.
funny how you go back there, and as you said before, you could rewatch these shows without even caring and not realizing you've seen them 15 times in the last month.
And
because a lot of the shows have small episode counts.
And the thing is, as well, that we've spoken about is, or at least in the past on the show, is that TV shows back then, whether they were animated or live action, whatever, they fucking gave you a lot of episodes.
Well, it's because back in the day they had to air 52 episodes, I believe it was, to get syndication.
Okay.
Once they had 52 episodes, was generally 3 seasons with most shows or something like that. The show would get picked up for syndication, which means it would just get run non-stop.
That's about 18,
6 months a year.
That's about 18 episodes a season.
And essentially they just axed it after that.
Yeah, okay.
Because there's no point in them making any more new ones because the show will then continue to make money for them.
Yeah, okay.
And they don't have to spend any more to make new episodes.
Yeah, right.
So shows back then would generally they'd pump out like 3 seasons, boom, and then that's it. That's all you get. And that's why you've seen so many of them, because they instantly went to syndication where they just get fucking looped constantly.
Yeah, sure. Because the Planeteer, Captain Planet was 6 seasons, and again, it was only 2 years, 95 to 96.
That's actually more than I thought it did.
Yeah. So it had a lot more episodes, and even those were airing, like they were around that 20 minutes and whatnot. But yeah, 2 years it ran for.
There you go.
I don't know what to cut. I'm looking at my list. I don't want to cut
Look, for how much we've cheated in this show, we can't allow you to cheat on this one as well.
I'm gonna throw in.
You can do both of them.
I'm going to throw in a new, like, it's older, but it's of the newer of the old ones. Fairly Odd Parents.
Yep.
Loved it. Again, another great theme song. Great show, great concept. 2 fairy parents helping little Timmy throughout all his problems in life and getting up to mischief, mayhem, and chaos. And yeah, fantastic show.
I loved. I think it might have been like one of the last episodes where he actually goes to court because
To get ownership or something of them.
There's like a big episode at the end where he goes to court, and it's all because he like lied to them and like cheated the system to have the parents permanently. And
Yeah, or no,
Oh, that's
it was something like
right.
that. Like he was aging out of having having the godparents and things. And
and he was actually meant to be like 30 years old or something like that, but hadn't aged because of the parents and stuff.
I do remember that. Yeah, that was a really good way to finish it for I suppose older people, like to sort of see that.
That's one of the things I loved about Ben 10 when I watched it. I think, and I appreciated it because I was older, but it came out when I was older anyway. But if you watch that back now, one of the things most people may not have realised is Ben 10 actually ages. Whereas most cartoons, the character stays the same age and they'll just keep going.
Bart's still 10 or something, 15,
Ben 10
20, 30
actually
years later.
ages throughout the season to the point where the last season he's an adult and has a kid.
I can't remember, like it's been a while since I actually haven't watched in a very long time, but I do recall him sort of aging not so much through the season, but in between seasons.
That's what I mean.
I think that started to follow a bit of the trend at the time, like with things like Harry Potter being a popular thing at the time, where it was a show that then the kids would grow up with, and therefore, like as the original generation got older, the books got, or the TV show got that little bit darker and heavier for those kids to understand. So I think that was sort of a big theme around that sort of time of Ben 10 and a few other shows.
All right, Fairly Odd Parents. What do you got, Broccolicious?
Are real monsters.
I loved it. That was on my list. I loved Are Real
another one I
Monsters.
forgot to put on my list and upset.
Ran for 4 seasons from 94 to 97. A couple of voices in this one. Jim Belushi and none other than Tim Curry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tim Curry played the boss monster.
Yeah.
That walked around in high heels because
yeah.
it was themed after Rocky Horror Show.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes so much fucking sense now.
I know. Like, I had no idea, but reading through it, I'm just like, this is fucking awesome. Like, and it was pretty cool, like seeing some of the bigger names that you've seen through these cartoons, about like Whoopi Goldberg, Tim Curry, and some others in the next one that I'll rattle off as well. I mean, it was a super simple show. 3 monsters who were friends who were going through the school. They were in school at the time.
I love the one that holds his eyes. His eyes like this.
Exactly.
And I love that their currency is used toenails.
Yep. That
was fantastic.
And their axis was...
I think that was part of the attraction to it, was the grossness of it sort of thing. Like, they are monsters living in the sewers and, all that sort of stuff. It was just fantastic.
But yeah, the show, I mean, it was super simple. They had a little thing to round up in each episode where they had to go up, do a mission, so to speak, in the surface and then come back. And yeah, it was just following them along those zany adventures.
Out of all
awesome.
the Nickelodeon shows, that was Nickelodeon, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that and Rocko's Modern Life were the fucking best.
I think Rocco's Modern Life was a touch more in the adult themes.
Yeah, it was very much more adult.
But yeah, those
Especially
two.
you watch it back now and you go, okay,
Yeah,
I
it
get
was-
a lot of these jokes now.
Because I remember watching them going, this is just so crazy. I don't understand what the hell's going on. And yeah, so you watch an episode and you're like, oh, now I know why I didn't get what's going on. I understand.
Like the neighbor constantly trying to fuck him. And
Yeah.
it's good. It's good.
Oh, that made my life easy. I don't have to mention Rocco's now, so that's good.
Now, mine is one that a lot of people will not know. And because it didn't last very long, and it's called Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light.
I could see a little bit of the graphic there. I thought you were going to talk about a certain mouse show.
So this is set in a world that was in a futuristicness. So they had hovercrafts and all that kind of stuff. But then all technology in this world died. And then they all go on this quest to get these magical things, which all shoot into their suits and go into their chests. They have like these holograms of these animals on their chests. And then they can all transform into light versions of these. See, I'm talking about it and you're like, I've seen this.
I think I've seen this.
Most people would have seen it, but they don't remember it. And it had like a wizard who was like, I am the wizard. And he looked a lot like the wizard from Hero Quest. But it came out it was 13 episodes in 1987. And there was a movie that was like the first couple of episodes collected together.
What was this aired on?
This was...
TV.
I think this might have been... Was it Hanna-Barbera? No, not Hanna-Barbera.
I have a feeling this would have been one of those random shows picked up on either Prime on a Saturday, like 11 o'clock time slot,
Probably.
or an ABC at like 5 o'clock, where it would just run the.
I used to
run it and then move on.
I used to get it on VHS from Video Easy all the time back in the day, and because the cover looked cool, so I got it, and I used to watch the shit out of it.
So it's produced by Hasbro.
Hasbro, because there was an episode on. No, I think the toys might have been marketed before G.I. Joe episodes or something like that.
Yeah,
and that's how I sort of found out about it. And it has Peter Cullen doing the voice of the wizard. And for those who don't know, Peter Cullen is fucking the one, the only, and I'll fight you all, Optimus Prime.
Yes.
Yes. No one will ever replace him. Even when he dies, I hope he does what fucking Darth Vader did and sells his voice so that we can continue to have Optimus Prime sound like that.
Marvelous.
Chris Hemsworth did an okay job, but it's just not Peter Cullen.
Yeah, but he was a young Optimus Prime. So.
Is one good?
One was excellent.
Okay, I'll
Yes.
watch it.
Yes, watch the shit out of it.
Angry Beavers. Angry Beavers. It was.
This used to air with Cat Dog, didn't it?
Yeah.
They're like
think so.
split for like 13-minute episodes sort of things from memory.
Oh, possibly something like that. I know they were airing at the same time.
I actually have the DVDs for Angry Beavers.
It's
I
just.
think they used to do a thing on Nickelodeon how they used to do the double ups.
Yeah.
So they do like, or maybe not the double ups, but something where they link two shows and it'd be like back to back to back to back to back for ages.
Yeah, see, I didn't have like Foxtel or anything, so I.
Neither did I. It was when I went to the grandparents and thrashed it.
Yeah, see, I wasn't even that lucky. So I was just whatever I got on 10 ABC Prime, whatever it was at the time. So
I think it used to be on ABC.
yeah, but it was fantastic. I loved the interaction between the brothers. It was like, man, I wish I had a brother I could do all this shit with and all this sort of stuff. Having two sisters that were not remotely like those two brothers. But yeah, loved the show. Great concept. One of the few things I've put in the classroom and the kids have been like, oh, this is interesting to watch.
Oh, because it was just one of those stupid shows where they put themselves in stupid situations and have to get out of it.
Yep.
That was what was great about it. All right. So that was your number 5, correct?
Oh, I want to. I'm going to mention Cat Dog, and then we mentioned at the same time. Cat Dog was another one I had.
I loved Cat Dog just for the sheer fact of one fun day with Wolf and a purr,
It's
baby was born
just-
in the cotton store. No balloon, 3-out frog, phenom, canine, little cat dog. Cat
Again,
dog.
I'm gonna hold that point over for the next
Cat
subject. But yeah, it was just another show where again it was just great and so unique having the cat and the dog attached, running around. And you got cat dealing with dog issues and the dog dealing with cat issues and things like that. The dog making best friends with the mouse that lives in the house that the cat wants to kill. And
How did they poop? Did they,
it's a cartoon. Don't ruin it. Don't.
Did it come out the other one's mouth?
It was like a snake. They just had a little hole in the middle of it. That's fine. All right, just don't question. Don't ruin Don't ruin perfection.
Did they poop?
I love Cat Dog. I love Cat Dog.
Now what you can picture is like dog's like, I gotta poop, and the cat goes, oh.
Well, you do see the furball in the theme song, so possibly it's just kids show and they didn't air that side of it. But yeah, it was
He
fantastic.
comes out their nose.
All right,
My last
take
one.
over so he doesn't ruin it anymore for me, please.
Wild Thornberrys. 5 seasons from 98 to 2004.
So Donnie is what we call our youngest child. Because for those of you who have
Fair.
watched Wild Thornberries,
Donnie is now more prevalent than ever
psychotic,
in society.
Guess,
and that is my child.
guess who did his voice?
Someone famous.
Yes.
Vin Diesel.
Tim fucking Curry.
Go Tim Curry, man.
When I see that, the double up between the two, I'm just like, fuck yeah. Like,
Goes from playing a high heel trans monster to
exactly.
rambling chaotic child.
No, I thought that was hilarious. Oh no, sorry, I've gotten that wrong. Oh, I ruined it. Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers was Donnie.
That makes even more sense.
Tim Curry was Nigel Thornberry.
That makes more sense.
All right.
That makes a lot more sense.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, I mean, it was fucking great. I mean, it was just out in the wild. It was a family on a permanent safari with a girl who could talk to animals, and that was fucking sweet.
And yours got a crossover with one of his in the Rugrats Wild Thornberries movie.
It did. I didn't watch it, but I knew.
No,
it
again,
existed.
that would have come out past our sort of
Sure.
And
generation this
Bruce Willis was the dog.
Was he?
Yeah, because Old Love and Wild Thornberries can talk to the animals.
Yeah.
And the dog's there, and she can talk to him. It was Bruce Willis.
Yeah, and that's where they got like a bunch of people to come through and voice various animals through the time. I mean, they had Jane Goodall in there, Eartha Kitt, Phil Lamar, William H. Macy did a voice as well. So there was a bunch of like pretty well-known people who went through and just threw a little bit of a voice in there every now and
This is
again.
why shows were better back then.
Okay, mine is already been ruined because I've said it, but it is Beavis and Butthead.
Well, I thought you were going to end with Biker Mice from
No,
Mars.
Beavis and Butthead was and still is one of my all-time favorite cartoons.
My only issue with that was it was more of an older aged show.
Oh yeah.
And I was too young at the time when it was airing, and my mother was not letting me watch it.
I just never really watched
I
it.
had all the VHSs. I've got it all on DVD. I love this show, man. It is so funny. It is the stupidest show ever, and just
That's the only thing I know.
cornholio from a very young age became a major part of my dialect, to the point where, like, apparently I'm like 8, 9. I would come out and have like the shirt over my head and go, I'm the Greek cornholio. I need to be my manghole.
And you know what?
I believe
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. I loved it, man. It was fantastic. It was so funny. I loved Daria, the spin-off, as well. Not as much as Beavis and Butthead.
Was Daria a spin-off of Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah, Daria was the character in Beavis and Butthead, and she moves to a different town.
That was another show. I didn't know if anyone mentioned it, but that was another good show.
I don't think I mentioned
So,
Daria,
fun
but
fact,
yeah, Daria.
Beavis and Butthead is still going. Paramount Plus released a movie, or there was a movie and a series that got released last year.
There was a movie that came out
and they go to space. They join the NASA program. The original movie, I watched that so much. Beavis and Butthead to America, fantastic. But it 10 official seasons, has 270 episodes and 2 pilot episodes, and it is classed as launching the music career of some of the biggest metal bands in the world.
Yeah.
Because when it used to air, it would be one episode, then it would be Beavis and Butthead watching a music video clip and talking about it, and then the second episode. And so they would have bands who like have just come out, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, cool, rock, yeah, these guys rock," yeah. And those bands would become huge.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. There's
Again,
a little tidbit.
Again, another reason why shows back then were better. Another show that's just before we move on.
You've already done, mate.
I know. I just want to throw this out.
This is cheating.
Street Sharks.
I love Street Sharks. It was cool.
It's a show I remember watching a few episodes. Never watched a lot. I had a fuck ton of the action figures though.
Yeah.
Speaking of the action figures, did you know that Vin Diesel's first jobs was in an ad for the Pizza Shark toys?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. You see it's like a super young, bald Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Street Sharks attack.
That is hilarious. Look at me now.
Which is kind of heading to our next little subject,
Yes.
which is a spin-off of this subject, and that is, were cartoons better in our day, so like 90s era, or Are they better now?
Now, well, I think we know Zach's answer because he's literally just peddled it for the last 10 minutes. That's why they were better in it. I mean, it's a tricky one in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Because, like, what?
You're always going to like something more from your childhood than the current one because
Exactly.
you're not as influenced. So my opinion on it was no and yes, like you've just said. Kids' cartoons were better then, but due to this generation growing up with, like our generation growing up with those cartoons being accepted from the entertainment with the continuation and popularity of anime coming into the Western culture, cartoons became more accepted. So our generation grew into adults who then in turn started creating cartoons that are more adult friendly and orientated, such as Rick and Morty and that and like Final Space and stuff like that. And then you've also got The Simpsons, which started in that generation and has continued
80s,
through.
remember?
And if it wasn't for shows like that, we wouldn't have got shows like Family Guy and American Dad and that and Rick and Morty, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so
it's
I was more talking. So you've gone a different route to this than I thought you would. I was more talking about, like I said, you especially having kids that are starting to watch more and more cartoons at this generation. So like comparing Are Real Monsters to an equivalent show, like kids cartoon show today.
See, my kid doesn't watch cartoons. He watches fuckwits playing Roblox on YouTube.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
As I said, even and this is even, you can spread this more into like especially Australian TV at the moment. We don't really have anything outside of reality TV shows. Like, I'm not saying there's not
one
good
of the
shows
major
out
issues
there.
is cartoons are very expensive to make, and reality TV show costs 2 cents and is filled with advertising.
Okay,
so
but-
they make money as opposed to cartoons which don't make money.
Exactly.
Yeah, so as Lisa and I were having conversation about sort of what shows you can watch and talking about shows that they were watching back then, like your different sitcoms and dramas, like your Blue Heelers, your All Saints, your McLeod's Daughters and things like that. You don't really, in Australia anyway, we don't really get any Australian-made versions
I mean,
of those.
we have the most successful cartoon ever made.
Yeah, we have Bluey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Literally the most successful cartoon ever made.
But again, that's one show out of how many years recently?
Yeah,
and like,
but that also comes down to the way that TV was done back in the day compared to now. Because I mean, we've got streaming, which is the way that we consume all of our TV, no matter what form it is. And because of the way that we consume it via streaming, and AJ's touched on this a few times, there's no way to get new money. So therefore, developing these TV shows, you're not getting new money unless you get new viewers. And whereas you compare it to back in the day, like a lot of these TV shows and whatnot were free to watch, but the amount of advertising that was associated to it, that then they could
most of them
generate
were
a lot.
made to sell toys.
Exactly. So
That's-
they were,
which is funnily enough why Young Justice got cancelled because they weren't selling toys. Fun fact.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just, I think we've entered into a different realm where it's because of the way that we consume all of these different things and the way that things are advertised differently, i.e. through reality TV, we don't get the same type of shows that we do. Or what we get is a little more focused, i.e. Bluey, which is kick-ass show. So more people focus on that show, put more development into it, so it becomes a really good show.
And as you said before, I think it's the difference in the generations too. So we were getting themes and storylines throughout episodes and things where now it's sort of a common trend with the younger generation. So they watch something and they just need things happening now. They'd rather watch, like I'll put on a show or something in the classroom and they'd rather watch 20 minutes of someone just knocking dominoes over or something and those ASMR clips and things like that because it's
That's a perfect example.
instant gratification rather than having to watch something and figure it out.
That happened with my son Bronx. He wanted to watch Dragon Ball Z. So I got Dragon Ball Z for him. I put it on and he's like, this is boring. And I'm like, no, it's not. This is one of the greatest shows ever made, son. You're not my child.
I might have to go have a word to your son as well.
I will fucking...
The three of us will be frog marching and pinning him down.
He's like, when does he turn into Blue Super Saiyan? I'm like, bro, that's not even this series.
Yeah.
Bro, that doesn't even count. That's to me,
like
even that Super Saiyan is
300
irrelevant.
episodes away.
And that's also a perfect example of the show compared back then to now, because Dragon Ball Super has been released in the last, 10 or so years.
Not even that.
And it is like he goes from Super Saiyan, whatever version he's fucking up to at the start of it, to Super Saiyan Blue to Super Saiyan God in like 3 episodes or 4 episodes at the start of Super Saiyan.
Now he's white
Super.
or some shit.
No, it's the oh shit, I've just gone blank on what
Ultra
it is.
Instinct.
Yeah, Ultra Instinct, where he's got like the grey and the black and
But yeah, it's like,
one thing which I think you were touching on before, which I wholeheartedly believe, and that is theme songs
oh, so much better.
are so much better from the 90s.
Definitely.
Captain Planet fucking, don't open that trap door because there's something down there.
And they were simple, they were to the point, and they
Yep.
just fucking slapped.
Angela
Angela
Anaconda.
Anaconda, like that's
Ninny poo.
My
even
name is Angela Anaconda.
and this is a show that's probably up your alley. Even Saddle Club, I can't remember an episode. I can basically sing the Saddle Club theme song word for word now.
No, that's just you,
Yeah,
man.
that's just you, bro.
Oh mate, it's a banger of a theme song. Banger of a theme song.
Rocco's more
so-
like, Spunky!
So I mean, yeah, I'm definitely the same as you, AJ. I think that it's a generational thing. Like, no matter what, you're always going to think that your generation's thing was better than the current one.
Yep.
I mean, we see it with TV, we see it with music, we see it with comics, you see it with books, movies, you see it with everything. Everyone's generation,
Yeah.
they used to watch it, and that was the best because it was.
Yeah, and in fairness to today's modern cartoons, like you go back and watch some of your cartoons, which are your favourites, rewatch them. A lot of them are fucking horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
and that's
Techno
it.
Man, which is one of the first shows on Cheese TV. I loved that show when I was a kid. I've got it on DVD now. I've watched it back, and it's fucking horrible.
And one of the things that we can do as well is we can take solace in the fact that we get some absolute banging shows here and there. I mean, we've mentioned a few of them. Like, you've got your Dragon Ball, you've got Ben 10, we've got the like Last Airbender that came out through the 2000 and
One of
and
the
2000s.
One of the best cartoons, in my opinion, that's come out recently, and unfortunately got canned, but he's finishing it with a comic book. Was Final Space.
Oh, that was so
Final
good.
Space is so fucking well written. It is funny when it needs to be funny. It's heart-wrenching when it needed to be heart-wrenching. The
That-
story arc was phenomenal. David Tennant voices the fucking baddie.
And-
then you got that other dude who I can't remember his name. Black guy. He voices games. He's one of the. He's the main villain in Halo. The main alien one in Halo.
Oh, yeah?
Not
Yeah.
in the TV, in the game. He was the not the Spartan.
Arbiter.
Arbiter. He was the
Yeah.
Arbiter. He voices one of the Titans in Final Space.
Yeah,
He's got
right.
that big,
Yeah.
deep, booming voice, and it was just sensational. I wish he got one more season.
He's
To
what,
finish
he got
it.
three seasons, didn't
and
he?
yeah, he's writing the comic book now,
Yeah, okay.
which you can go online to finalspaceends.com, and it's like $200 US to get to pre-order the comic.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you're exactly right.
And like shows, like we only get shows like that because that we got shows like
platform.
Batman, Gargoyles,
Yeah.
X-Men, those types of shows that had those beautiful big arcs, which were all come from comic books, essentially comic book readers
Yeah,
of those
and
ages
you-
coming into that world.
You guys have approached this very differently to it than what I had in mind. Like I said, yeah, like I wasn't even thinking of like
You just wanted us to rip on modern shows, didn't you?
No, not really. I just wanted to talk up more, our generation more. No, it's just like it's in the classroom, even like scrolling through Netflix and things and the shows the kids want to put on. I'm just like, no.
But see,
I put them on. I'm like, no.
A lot of the old shows are coming back anyway. Biker Mice from Mars is getting a reboot.
I hope Street Sharks does.
I doubt it.
It'll be CGI as fuck if it's live action.
Toxic. Oh, do you remember Toxic Avenger, Toxic Avenger cartoon?
They did a,
See, I
a
loved-
live.
that's
they
what I
did
loved.
They did a live
Well,
action.
the live action was first. It was a Roger Corman film, like one of those corny Cormans, like cost $5,000 to make movies.
No. It's
There's a
they've
new one.
recent-
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
It hasn't come out yet.
I thought it was.
No, it's been delayed
Okay.
hardcore.
Yeah, fair enough.
But that's one other thing I
that
loved
Peter
about the
Dinklage?
late 80s, early 90s. Adult movies, they made cartoons of them. Like RoboCop got a cartoon. The Mask got a cartoon. Ghostbusters got a cartoon.
Yeah.
Fucking Toxic Avenger got a And none of those movies are kid-friendly movies. And they've turned them into fantastic kid-friendly cartoons.
Exactly.
That's it. This was all. I said it was all about the nostalgia. This episode, I put the run sheet together. Was like, yes, nostalgia is where I'm heading today.
There was one thing that I wrote down because of the nostalgia factor. I'll find it and I'll come back to it when I actually find it.
All right. Well,
It was an Instagram page to follow. It's like nostalgic cartoons.
Yes. It's
He's-
I've seen that. It's great. Like it'll show like reels of the intros and things like that. And
Forgotten cartoons
Yeah.
and stuff
well, most
like
of the
that.
cartoons you can find episodes on YouTube and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, but it's a good page to go through and scroll through and go, oh, that's not bad. I'll go have a look at that one now.
Okay, well, continuing with the nostalgia.
gaming.
Continue with nostalgia into gaming. So we got some games. Just before we do, I've got one little rumor to do with games, and that is Heroes of Exandria is getting a Universes release next year. And for those of you who don't, Heroes of Exandria is Mighty 9 and Vox Machina.
Marvelous.
So it's the Critical Role world. It's getting a release because you've already had both of them separately as sets. This is like a combined set
All right,
for Universes, which will be awesome.
I've got two small rumours about WoW, World of Warcraft. Well, not really rumours, but just more news releases. Mists of Pandaria Classic is coming in the summer of 2025. So they're just re-releasing all the original expansions in order just for more money and more
Are
things
they
like that.
like remastering them or?
I think they might be updating the graphics and things, but the games are exactly the same back then.
Cool.
So when they originally did it, they redid classic, like original WoW, which was good at the time because where they were up to the expansion, it was very diluted and very gamer friendly. Where back original WoW was, you had the time syncing and like if you were playing properly, you would log in, get a buff, and then log out and not play that character for the rest of the week until Raid came back on. So you still had that buff and things like that. But obviously, modern people had broken that version of the game because they realised, wait, we can just all run ice mages and it will kill the bosses in 10 seconds that we didn't know back then. And the other one is in the next expansion, they are bringing in housing, which is effectively going to be a place where you can display all your achievements in a physical form in the game. So rather than just having an achievement tab, you can hang Deathwing's head or things like that. So the things you've done in the game, you can actually sort of get physical little props in there. And so I'm assuming at some point...
World of Warcraft, The Sims.
Basically, yeah.
And what is going to be the first thing that probably happens at that is they are going to be
Dicks.
trashed by the adjacent persons because they're going to set up all their little trophies and someone will go in and they go, burn.
Well, see, I don't know if... I doubt that'd be possible.
They won't allow it, but I mean... Yeah.
But yeah, so like
that's what everyone's going to try.
Not
and
much
do.
has been released about how it's going to work, other than basically it'll be your opportunity to display your achievements throughout your WoW playtime.
Sure. All right, what do you got?
My two, so very quick one. Xbox handhelds are in the works, but they are years away from release.
Cool. By the time it comes out, no one will give a fuck.
I will. I reckon that'd be sweet. And we've mentioned this a couple of times over the last or at least I have, the Pokemon trading card game. So it's the mobile game that is. Yep. So it made $12 million in 4 days.
It's a license to print money, but I'm going to say it, and I want everyone watching and listening at home to hear this. Digimon's better.
I've seen the memes lately of like how to crush someone's generation, and it's like
I'm sorry guys, but
it's better.
I prefer Pokemon.
Digimon has much better storylines.
I say, in what way are you saying it's better? I'm not saying it's not.
The actual lore behind it, Digimon is just better.
Yeah, see,
they actually put effort into their show and their storyline, their arcs. Pokemon was just like, okay, we need to sell Bulbasaurs. Let's put Bulbasaur in this episode. Okay, this week we need to sell Charmeleons. Okay, let's evolve Charizard. Okay, oh, no, Pikachu's losing interest. Let's put 12 Pikachus in this episode.
Say, let's evolve Charizard?
He did. I was skipping over that part.
I'm not letting him get away with it.
I don't care. Digimon's better.
See, that was one thing. I always thought for someone trying to be the Pokemon master, catch them all, he really didn't catch that many Pokemon back in the day. It was
true.
Yeah, but is it? I'd watch both.
For me,
I'll still watch both.
Definitely still watch both. I definitely prefer Pokemon because I grew up with Pokemon.
I will watch Pokemon up until the Johto League. After that, I don't care.
Oh, the first Pokemon movie. After that, I lost interest.
No, the second one wasn't too bad with Lugia. That was pretty good.
And also, the first two Digimon movies were sensational.
I actually don't think I've watched the Digimon movies.
So good.
Yeah?
They were fantastic.
And the best thing about Digimon as well was they grew old. Ash stays the same age. The characters in the first season grow old, and then new tamers come in.
Yeah, there's a
but
time
then they
skip between
come
the
back,
first and second one.
They come back older.
Well, except for TK sticks around. But it's an older TK. So you get TK's the real little one in the first one. He then becomes like one of the main ones in the second one as the leader of the group.
Yeah, I read a little article about that and how Ash is actually like
immortal because he saw Ho-Ho.
Immortal because he saw Ho-Ho. I seen another one where he was a clone that Professor Oak did because he actually lost his son. So therefore, he was a clone.
That one. Yeah.
And all sort like that. So there was a few things around that.
They're pretty good to read.
But let's get on with what we're meant to be talking about.
We didn't fall down a rabbit hole.
Okay, so we are talking about our top 5 games from our youth.
Video games.
Video games, yes. All right, I'll start this one off.
Are we doing the same thing? Because I fell down the same trap as last time. I've got a list of about 10, 11.
I
did 5.
Yeah.
I did 5 because I went way too far with the other one.
So you have to pick 5. So my first game is SmackDown. Just Bring It. This came out on the PS2. This was such. Me and my mate Bushy used to sit nearly every night. We would sit there and play this and my next game.
And this was one of the first wrestling games
This was
that
one of
came
the
out,
first
wasn't it?
big ones because it was on the PS2 when
Yeah.
graphics actually got half decent.
yeah.
Had all the big. It
remember
was,
playing
during,
this.
it was during the Attitude Era, so you had all the big characters. You could one of the first times you could build one of your own characters, and you could assign them like you give them Jeff Hardy's Twist of Fate,
Yep.
Undertaker's fucking thing, and like. And you give them entrances and all that kind of stuff. And it was such a good game. I still have it in its case out there. I love this game. And we used to play it so much, man. So much. And none of the other wrestling games have ever, like the graphics are always getting better, all that kind of stuff. None of them have compared to this wrestling game. All right, pick one, bud. What do you got?
All right, I'm going to go with Lilac Wars, or which is known in Australia. Otherwise, in other places, it was known as Star Fox on the 64.
Oh, yeah.
You follow Star Fox around in his little ship going around. Always,
It was one of the first games that were released on Nintendo 64.
Cannot remember the character's name, but the bird.
Birdman.
Yeah, can't remember his name. He's got a real name. I can't remember it. I used to love playing as him, but you could also be a toad or a hare and things like that in the game. And yeah, you go around killing shit. It was really fun, straightforward.
It's great flying, and I love how you could do like the 180, like it flew upwards and spun around, and like the way the camera flipped around behind
Do the
it
tricks
and
and stuff, and yeah, get bombs and all that
But
stuff.
that was I had when I bought my 64. I had that and Torok.
Yeah, Torok was definitely one of the first
Torok
ones.
was a
it's
fantastic
almost
game.
it was like it just came with the 64. Everyone seemed to own that one.
Well, it was literally. I think it was Super Mario, Torok, and GoldenEye were the first games that came out from memory.
Oh, well, look, you've mentioned it. We might as well talk about GoldenEye is everyone's favourite first-person shooter party game with your mates.
Halo overtook it in the multiplayer for me.
100%.
Yeah.
No,
Halo's
GoldenEye's still my
multiplayer
favourite.
is still to this day the pinnacle.
That
of
would be because I
multiplayer.
didn't have an Xbox, so I didn't really play Halo. As I said,
Yeah.
I've said before, that's why GoldenEye still holds that special place, and it's really
Special place for you.
That's what I said. I said that, and it's probably really the only first-person shooter I've ever really played and sank hours into because it's just don't really.
I used to play the shit out of it, but
Yeah, I just,
like
but
even
since then I haven't really played a lot of first-person
GoldenEye
shooters.
got taken over by Dark. What was it called? Dark something. There was another 64 one. So
Golden-
it's essentially GoldenEye, but with like a female lead character. Sci-fi thing.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
64 games were Super Mario 64 and Pilot Wing 64.
Oh yeah, Pilot Wings. I remember Pilot Wing. It was like a California Games style thing, but with like flying.
Yep.
That's right. I remember that. What's yours, mate?
First one for me came to Game Boy on the 27th of February, 1996.
Thank you.
Which color?
Blue.
Red.
I had blue as well.
Pokemon Blue.
Red.
And well, might as well say it, this is on my list as well.
Yep.
I had blue and I had yellow.
Yep.
I
Do you have
also,
Digimon on there? No, you don't, do you?
I had Digimon on the PS. Thanks, mate.
that was a good game.
That was a great
a good game. I've also tangled into that Pokemon Stadium.
That game was okay.
Pokemon Stadium 2, I think, was a bit better because they learnt from a few of the mistakes of
I
Pokemon
just
Stadium
love
1.
that Pokemon Stadium came with a little cartridge thing. You put
Yeah.
your Game Boy in and use your game.
You
Game Boy
could play
cartridge.
your Pokemon from Pokemon Red or Gold or whatever it was at the time.
Somewhere out there is a cartridge with my Pokemon version Blue with a Pokedex 151 in it.
Somewhere in this house is a Game Boy Mini Gold Edition.
Yep.
With Pokemon Blue in it.
Nice.
I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere. I had Mew as well because I remember you had to go line up at Harvey Norman, and they had a big fucking thing. You put your cartridge in, and they gave you Mew.
Yep,
Yeah,
I had him.
I didn't, but my mate did, and then we did the duplicating trick where you'd pull the cord out at the right time and it would duplicate both. And then the old missing
Did you
node
have
trick.
missing node?
Missing node, yeah.
I had missing node. Too.
But yeah, I said Pokemon in general. I've said on the same track, I've got the Pokemon Game Boy where it had like Pikachu and stuff on the front.
Oh, the colour?
The yellow on the front, blue on the back, Pikachu on it, stuff like that. With the somewhere there's a Pokemon game.
You know
in
what
it
game
somewhere.
you used to actually slap on 64? I think it was 64. Was the Pokemon Snap.
I almost put that down.
I've got that on my Wii, on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's the newer
one,
version
yeah.
on the Switch.
I never understood how to
It's
play
not
it
as
properly
good as 64.
at that game at that age, but yeah.
Yeah, no, at the age I worked it out and figured like went through the thing and like I did everything and didn't have him. So I spent fucking not
I
hours.
used to play a lot of that.
Days investing into that so that I could complete the whole thing, throwing shit at everything around the place till something else popped out.
Yeah, and you could always see like the shadow of like the mystery ones in the background and stuff. And you have to wait for that exact precise moment to capture them. And
it's like, get out from behind there, you motherfucker.
Yeah, see, kids couldn't play that game today. They wouldn't have the patience.
My number 2 is, again, like I said, me and my mate Bushy used to sit down and play these games non-stop, and that is Dave Mirror 2. So Dave Mirror 2 is a BMX, it's Tony Hawk, but BMX.
I had Matt Hoffman.
No, it wasn't as good.
Well,
as
I know,
Dave Mirror.
that's just what I had.
Now, Dave Mirror tragically RIP. He committed suicide not that long ago. But it is a sensation. Like, 1 was dodgy. 2 was like, it was like on the PS2. 1 was on PS1. And it was just such a good game, man.
Because from memory, they cleaned it up so that you were, rather than just like going at a jump and then flying for ages doing tricks and shit, they lined it up
you
so
had
that
to,
you...
And you had to level up. You had to buy better bikes.
Like go through the loop.
And you could get better bikes going through it. And you had all real bikes.
Hoffman had the same thing. It was pretty good.
And it was such a good thing. Like, see, Hoffman is like what Skate was to Tony Hawk.
Yeah, see,
it was good, but just not as good.
It's what was bought for me. So I would have... At least one that I wasn't going to say was Tony Hawk 2. It was same sort of thing. Tony Hawk 1 was all right. Tony Hawk 2 was,
one is pinnacle for me. I love 1.
I would say 2.
I've got the remastered version on my Switch.
Remastered probably would help a lot of.
Oh, it really does help.
I think I can't remember. I got the remaster set, so I got 1 and 2.
Dave Mirror 2 is phenomenal. Again, I've got it sitting out there in its PS2 case, but I also just hacked my PlayStation 3 to play it on that. I was actually playing it like 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Still fucking holds up, man. Still great. Still such a good game.
All right, my next one is going to be, just because I don't want someone else to say it, Zelda: The Ocarina of Time.
Not on my list.
This is my number 1 all-time favourite game from my childhood. To the fact that I have ROMs on the computer, I will go and play it randomly.
See, I wasn't a Zelda fan.
I loved it.
I wasn't a big Zelda. I didn't start really get into Zelda until Wind Waker.
See, this was my first
Is
introduction.
that what it's called? Wind Waker? The one on the GameCube? Wind something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the thing. I keep going to say Skyward Sword, but that's a different one.
No.
I didn't really get introduced to Zelda until this one. Also, the
this
previous
was the
ones.
first 64 one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And
this is
then
the first.
The Mask was the second
first
one.
sort of Majora's Mask second one. So this was the one where it sort of set the tone for a lot of the like real world sort of open plan games. Great storyline, very easy to play through. Great weapons, great lore, great characters in it. It's a storyline where I will go back and I will replay it. I will do it no matter what. It's fantastic. Love it. Best game of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I've played like probably an hour of it at most at my mate's place. That was probably it.
That's
probably
probably
for me. The only Link that I played was on the handheld, just on the Game Boy for a bit. Like,
That's the old Zeldas.
Yeah.
The old Game Boy Zeldas.
They
There's like
keep
4 of them, I think. From
no,
memory.
they keep that style of game. They still produce. I think at that time it would have been like Link to the Seasons and Ages or something like that. They were the two around that time.
There was a heap of them.
But yeah,
back
there's
then,
heaps of them beforehand. But yeah, no, I think Ocarina of Time, I think if the first time you played it, once you get through the starting zone, because that is quite slow for the first time, but once you get past that into everything, it's just fantastic.
You know, one thing that I've just remembered, it's not on my list, but I've just remembered it, is the first GTAs.
Oh, yeah,
The sky
over the top,
view of the cars kicking around. That was fucking sick.
Yeah. What are you go, mate? What's your number 3?
My number 2 is Super Mario 64.
Yep. One of the greatest
That
games ever
game
made.
I have another Mario one
amazing.
in there. Yes.
One of the greatest games ever
It
made.
was so fucking good.
Still to this day, it is a fantastic. Like, you could still play that game. It is still as hard as it was back then. Still as enjoyable as it was back then. Phenomenal. And none have compared to that yet. The closest one was Odyssey.
Odyssey wasn't too bad, but it just wasn't the same.
It was the closest they've come to getting that feeling again, but nothing has compared to 64.
Watching speed runs of 64, I'm just like, how the fuck have you guys figured out how to do this shit? Like, as I said, you go back and play it today, and it is still difficult to do some of those things. Like,
one thing I did also...
number one rule, you have to play it with a 64 controller.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went also got one of the little Super NES ROMs, so I went and played some of the Super Mario, like the early. Just the Sideways
Yep.
going with Super Mario and Super Mario 2, I think it was.
Yep.
And even those games, they slapped getting through the different worlds and doing that. Like that was awesome
pipelines
as
and
well.
things,
Yeah. That was
Well,
sick.
that's actually going to jump into my next one.
Yep.
And I'm talking the motherfucking OG. You didn't even have to buy this one. It came with the console. And that was Alex the motherfucking kid.
I've
This game...
talked about it before. It's love it.
No save point. You turn the console on without a cartridge in it. The game booted up and you played that motherfucker. And then you had your big villains were rock, paper, and scissors. And you had to do rock, paper. There was no fighting them. You just did rock, paper, scissors with them.
Oh, I love that. I forgot about that part.
And there was a piranha fish you had to swim past. And like his swimming was just his legs going. Doot, 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 doot. There is, I just because I do Prime subscriptions. And they just released the 3D version on Prime for free last month, I think. And I grabbed it.
Yeah, I
haven't played it yet. But
I got it as well because I'd never played Alex Kidd previously. So I got it and I started to play it and it nearly crashed my computer because my computer's that old and the 3D graphics required massive amount of rendering to do it.
Oh, yep.
And so it nearly crashed my computer, but I fucked around with it a bit. I got it back to the old 8-bit stuff to flick. So I got to play it a little bit, but I didn't get to play it.
Just realized, so what I thought was the sequel to that, Wonder Boy 3, is not. It's actually a different one again.
Yeah.
I now remember Alex Kidd 3, fucking another great game.
I probably did play them, but I clearly remember Alex the Kid 1 just because it came with the Sega.
Yeah.
It was on the Sega, which no console has done from that day. You just turned it on.
The
and
only
you
thing
could
close to
play
that
instantly.
would be most of the Wii's came with the Wii Sports, but it's still,
and
the disc you had to put
the
into.
Game Boy came with Tetris.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that game it fucking slapped.
So going on to running sideways, my version of that is Sonic, particularly Sonic 2.
Yeah,
but
used to play
then
the
again,
shit out of that
Sonic
game.
and Knuckles again was up there as a fucking banger. But loved doing.
That's like number 4, isn't it? Sonic and Knuckles.
No, I think it's 3.
No, because that was Sonic and Tails.
No, it's Tails coming in 2.
Oh, did he?
I think Knuckles is 3.
Okay.
But yeah, loving even in Sonic 1 the Chaos Emeralds. Where to the first one you're sort of like on the Rubik's Cube where you're rolling around and having to get it. The second one you're in the half pipe going around. Like those things were sick. The bosses.
I can still remember the noise of the coins.
There in Sonic 2, the Vegas level where you go there, and I would spend like just minutes, 10s, 20, even half hour just trying to land in there and get the jackpots to get all the coins and shit. Did nothing for me, but it was just great fun.
Yeah.
Such a good game.
But yeah, and as we said before, the jump mechanic, only one or two mechanics, jumping and spinning, and it's still in some parts quite tricky and quite fun. And yeah, the bosses at the end were always great fun to play.
So what console was that on?
Mega Drive.
Okay.
I think Sonic 1 was on Master System maybe, and Sonic 2 was Mega Drive.
Because a lot of the things that I played along those lines, like Link, Sonic, and whatnot, was on the Game Boy, like even Super Mario. So I played a lot more of the handheld when they were being released. Because, I mean, I got a 64, not when they first came out. I got it a few years later and just sort of smashed through.
I got that motherfucker. I was like the first kid in my fucking primary school to get a 64. Love that. I pretty much had every console up until PS2. After that, I stopped getting them. Because that's when I stopped playing, having interest. So I didn't. PS3. Sorry, I've got the PS3.
Sure.
After that, I never got the 4, never got the 5. I never got the I got the Xbox One.
Yep.
The one. I got the Xbox One. But
The
I got
original
that.
Xbox or the Xbox One?
No, so I had the Xbox. Had the Xbox 360.
One,
And then I got the Xbox One. But the only reason I got that is because I got it for free with the TV.
Yeah. See, I was always the console generation behind. So when PlayStation 2 came out, I got the PS1 thing. Like
I loved the mini PS1.
That's
man.
what I had.
Fuck, I want to buy one of them just to have it. I loved the size of it, the look of it, everything. It's great.
Yeah. See, like I was, and why most of my games are 64. Like while everyone else was playing the PlayStations and things like that, I had the 64, and that's what I was grinding through. And then got progressed to the PlayStation as the PlayStation 2 was coming out and sort of thing. So. But yeah, 64 I think is still the best console. Whose turn? My turn? Your turn.
I did Alex the Kid, so yes.
I did
turn.
Sonic. Your turn.
Your turn.
My turn. Banjo-Kazooie.
Stop stealing my fucking games, man.
I know, you can't take the risk.
Pokemon,
So
you
this
fucking
one-
stolen Banjo.
So this one came out in August 1998, Banjo-Kazooie, and this game was fucking amazing.
got Banjo-Tooie.
That was shit.
yeah, that
Yeah,
wasn't
it wasn't
good.
great.
Yeah,
It was
nowhere
Banjo-
near
It was
good.
them trying to capitalize. Still fun to play, but definitely doesn't hold a candle to the first one.
Nah, nowhere near. So I went and again got the. They redid it a couple years ago
And
on Xbox.
Yeah, you got did you get the pack? The not Activision, whatever company made Banjo Kazooie, they released a pack where it was all the games they'd made on Xbox One, I think. So you got Banjo Kazooie, Banjo Tooie, that Dark, whatever the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
Whole heap of games.
No, yeah, I think I did do that.
A
you got
Kokoa, I
some-
think,
you
was
got,
one where she
cra-
turned into spirit animals or something.
No, actually, no. I don't think I did get that, but I got a couple at the same time because I got Banjo Kazooie, Banjo Tooie. I also got the Crash Bandicoot. I got the trilogy there, and there was
It's a fucking
something
another
else
trilogy.
as well.
CTR, that was another great one.
But it was. I think there might have been more. I can't remember what they were. Anywho. But yeah, I got it for Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie. So Banjo Kazooie, amazing game. I mean, a bear and a fucking bird kicking around.
Yeah.
and
It was cool too because you had to learn Banjo's moveset, but then the bird's moveset as well. So
Yeah.
it was
Join
cool in
them.
that way.
join them together. And yeah, as I said, I went back, played it through, and it holds up. It's a good game.
Yep.
It's definitely easier now.
I played it. Yeah, I played it recently.
Easier now compared to what it was back then. Because you can just sort of, because you've got your adult wits about you, you can.
It definitely felt like a game that was
to.
trying to capitalize a bit off like the Super Mario
Oh,
64.
100%.
it
it was.
Well, I mean, at that point, there were a lot of 3D platformers that came out because of Super Mario 64. And it was probably one of the only ones that actually held up.
I would say Donkey Kong 64 would be another one in that realm. That wasn't
It
too
didn't-
bad.
it
It
didn't
wasn't
hold
as
up,
good,
yeah.
but that one was
Diddy
interesting.
Kong,
You
Diddy
got
Kong Racing, that slapped.
that did slap. Played as the mouse Pippi or whatever the fuck her name was. Like, she was the fastest. by
Have you
far.
seen someone's modded Mario Kart to be all Halo characters?
No.
You can play as Master Chief on the fucking quad motorbike and stuff, and there's like all aliens and shit racing.
That'd be sick.
But the thing I liked about Donkey Kong 64 was you had all the different Kongs to play through. So you would have to play as a different Kong to get through different aspects of the game and change through. So that was a different mechanic. As I said, not as good a game as Mario or Banjo-Kazooie, but definitely a fun game nonetheless.
Because that was one of the Sidewinder ones as well. We had to go from across the screen. Wasn't
No,
it?
not this
No,
one. Donkey
no,
Kong
this was
64 was
3D,
again 3D world, and
Yeah,
you go
okay.
through and do everything.
I don't think I played that, to be honest.
All right,
Yellow cartridge.
moving on, just because we're getting a little long-winded here.
Doesn't sound like us.
Since my last two have been stolen, I'm going to spitball off the top of my head. So I'm going to combine two because they're very similar games, and that is Point Blank and Time Crisis 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So these were the pinnacle of the shooter game, which just
And
doesn't
with-
exist anymore.
And did you get them with the guns that you could go through them with them
Yeah.
as well? Yep.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Point Blank, I was so fucking good at that.
Yep.
Like I got to the point where I just didn't fucking miss.
Yeah.
Like no one wanted to play me because I was just that good at it. Time Crisis was just fucking, it was the tits. It was such a good game, man. Loved playing that game. Nothing has ever compared to Point Blank, Point Blank 2 and Time Crisis all on the PS1. So good. And I want to buy some light guns for my arcade unit just so I can put those ROMs on it and play those two games because they are so fucking good, man.
Oh, yeah. I'd play the shit out of that.
Yeah.
You get that happening.
So I'm going to go to a computer game because I don't think we've mentioned one of those yet. One that you've all probably played. I don't know if nearly this is in your wheelhouse, this one, but Age of Empires, particularly Age of Empires 2.
See, I'd go Warcraft 2 over Age of Empires.
Yeah, see, I never really played that. StarCraft was another one that I could have thrown in
Yeah,
here,
so
or
again,
later on
real-
Dawn of War.
Yeah, no, I
but-
was always Warcraft over any of those.
But yeah, so for me, Warcraft would be, if I
just-
think of Warcraft, I think more of WoW.
Very quickly, $1,200, Time Crisis, full arcade machine.
I mean, you can buy guns for like $100.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Age of Empires was...
This looks fucking cool, though.
one thing I remember at Age of Empires is at one point you could get it in the packet of Kellogg's.
Yes,
cornflakes.
I do remember that. I
Yeah,
do remember
you
that.
Could you could get the game as part of that, so go away cornflakes, get a game. But
And then you
yeah.
get in like roll-ups and stuff like that. It came in roll-ups and
yeah,
all those kind of
anything
products, yeah.
Kellogg's, I think,
Yeah.
at the time. But yeah, it's a great game, strategy-based game. Develop your civilization, and yeah, having different civilizations that were good at different things, which I think that's where it was a bit better than Warcraft in the terms of Warcraft had the storyline, which is something I really loved about it. But this one, each sort of faction you played as had a different theme you could do. So you did have the ones that were better at ships, or the ones that were better at at farming and gathering resources and things. So
I've got
those small little tweaks to it.
I got Sid Meier's Civilization board game.
Civilization 2, I remember playing.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool.
I got
Where
the
you could
board
build the
game
wonders and
version.
stuff like that.
It's really good fun.
We
but it takes a
basically
long
played it
time
the
to
other
play.
day.
Oh no, this is like
I know.
This is the game, but in board game form. It's pretty fucking cool, but it takes a long time to play. All right, what do you got, mate?
My next one, Tony Hawk. Came out in 99. I
Yeah.
mean, this game, it was just awesome.
The music
Getting into
popped, man.
The music was
Oh.
awesome. Getting in the extreme sports. Number one, it was super simple. Like, there was about
Horse.
10 levels.
It's
playing horse.
still hard to play, man.
It
When you get that
is.
remaster, it is fucking hard, some of those levels.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like you go through and you do the first level, go through a couple times, you get everything you need
The
to.
amount of money Tony Hawk made from that game is fucking
He's
astronomical.
revealed
Still
something like it.
making.
He's like, I won't tell the exact money, but like a year after its release, I never had to work again.
Yeah.
Like, he was just rolling in it.
Yeah, the game slaps. When you get to the like further through the game, it gets harder because you need to land bigger tricks, better tricks. You need to be more
Combine grinds,
combine
into
so many
manuals,
more.
into jumps, and
And it doesn't fuck around in that. Like, you've got 2 minutes. Get in and fucking get it done.
I think what's good about that game, and it's probably the same thing about your bike one, is in essence the game itself isn't complicated to play.
No.
But to master it, it's actually quite tricky.
Yes.
Which I think is a good combination of skill sets to have in the game. It's fun, accessible for everyone, but if you want to put the time into it, you'll be rewarded for that.
100%.
all right, you jump in your last one because I've got to think of a fifth one because it's been stolen.
I've got. Well, I'm gonna throw two at you. I'm gonna throw two.
If you steal
Sure.
one of his, that's hilarious.
This one might be. I'm gonna go Mario Party 2.
Okay.
Because I think it's still, of the Mario Parties, I've played a few of them. Mario Party 2, I think it just has the best memories for me. That's much better than Mario Party 1. Mario Party 3, I think they started to try too hard. Mario Party on the Switch is great, but I think it misses some of the elements from Mario Party. I remember the chance squares where you could land on it and just steal everyone's stars. Like, my whole strategy was, I'm just going around whatever route gets me past them. If I don't go past the star, I don't care because I'm going to steal fucking someone else's. And my sisters fucking hated me for it. And the other one was Ratchet and Clank 2.
Oh, yep.
Those games are awesome.
Yeah, really like
They did
that.
a movie as well.
Yeah, no, I think I have watched the movie a long time ago. But yeah, like the fact that you could level up your weapons and things throughout, so it wasn't necessarily leveling up your character, you're leveling up the things around him. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, so I've got a few others. But yeah, they are my 6. Piggybacked off some of yours to squeeze more into as well.
All right, what do you got, mate?
My last one. Now, this came out in 1997, and it is Snowboard Kids.
Oh my god, I remember Snowboard Kids, man. 1080 snowboarding as well.
It was so fucking good, Snowboard Kids. And it was fucking hard, and it had no save. So no matter what you were doing, you
Snowball
had
Kids 2 did, but it was so much.
Yeah, so just going through, trying to level up your board so you get a better board
Paint
and then better
jobs
tricks. So
and-
remember, you had to fucking put your controller down and swing it around so hard so you can get the special tricks off
Yeah.
the bloody thing, and then
You jump and do
fuck.
grabs in the
Yeah,
air, so you got
jump.
more points as you landed and speed. Fuck,
exactly.
that was a game.
Amazing game.
All
So
right,
much fun.
My number 5, and I'll have a quick little honorary. I'll do honorary mention first, which is has already been, just because it's already been mentioned. That's Banjo-Kazooie.
Yep.
Not Banjo. It's Crash Bandicoot.
Yep.
Loved Crash
Yep.
Bandicoot. Great games. Guys, love the fact it's a rail system. You just run on the rail, do your thing. My one on my actual list is Ape Escape.
Never really played
This is
it.
on the PS1, and this
Yeah.
is the first game to use the DualShock controller on the PlayStation.
My
I
mum
believe
loved it.
from memory it came. You bought it with a DualShock controller
Yeah, because I remember
because you have to have the DualShock controller to play it.
Because I remember there was things like that on the 64 too, like Donkey Kong. You had to have
Yeah.
the memory adapter to play it. You couldn't play it with.
So
unless
this
you
one,
had
yeah,
that
because this one required like you had to when you caught apes with your net, you had to spin.
Yeah,
the fucking
you needed the
trigger as
joysticks.
quick
You
as
didn't just use
possible
the
and
directional
stuff.
buttons. Yeah.
I have fond memories of playing this game. It was excellent, and it along with Hot Wheels on the PS1 were games that I used to play all the time. But they were like the games I'd play by myself, kind of thing. Whereas when you, like the light guns, like Point Blank and Time Crisis, I'd always play with someone
Yeah,
else, kind of
sure.
thing. But yeah, I fondly remember Ape Escape. It was a good game.
Yeah, so my mum, I think it might have been on the PSP. It came, there was a version of it on that, and she, when I had that, she would play the crap out of that game.
Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed the trip of us down nostalgia lane of us just reminiscing about shit from our childhood, which is 25 years ago.
I actually forgot the cameras were here, to be honest. No, but yeah, definitely drop in a comment somewhere your favourite TV show from your generation or your favourite video game. So, yeah, join in the memory train with us.
Or
And,
even weigh in on the conversation. Were they better back then? Were they better now? Or did you have a different answer like myself and AJ?
yeah, so I hope you really enjoyed this episode, guys. We appreciate you all listening / watching, and we will catch you for the next episode where we are getting even closer to 50 years old.
Peace out.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to Frantic Nerdcast.
You can find all our latest news and information on Facebook or at franticnerdcast.com.
You can find us on Instagram at Frantic Nerdcast. Find AJ at Weird Art by AJ. Find Zach at Frantic Kaz and myself at Frantic Brock.
Please make sure to head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe for more YouTube-only content like Sequelize It and Plays Games.